Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Mark Janish, Access Media Global's From the Bench podcast, to be heard on Libsyn and Stitcher Radio. I just wanted to update you on some goings on with Access Media Global as far as posting. We posted the World Cup 2018 schedule from Telemundo and English speaking viewers in the United States, Fox Sports 1 and the Fox affiliates in the U.S. will be covering the World Cup. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. Also wanted to let you know that Jimmy Traina has taken over Richard Deutsch's spot with the SI Sports Media Podcast, but I also feature Richard Deutsch media podcast via Player FM. That's also posted. Some MLS recent podcasts from last week, May 30 and 31, are posted. And then generally on a daily basis, plus or minus a couple of days, you can go to the Major League Baseball page and get your update. But generally, I post game recaps of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the San Diego Padres, the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are 37-22. They'll be facing Houston in a two-game series starting Tuesday night at 5:10 Pacific time. Wanted to also let you know that I am working on some World Cup programming. I haven't decided which podcasts I will be featuring, but I'm definitely looking into that. Did some changes today as far as looking into some material, so look for that at accessmediaglobal.com. I want to thank everyone from the Americas to the United States and Europe who are at least checking in with the website. We'll definitely want to be covering the World Cup. The World Cup starts June 14th. Most of the games, as far as me on the west coast of the United States, most of the games are going to be starting at between 3 and 5 a.m. 5 a.m., 8 a.m., and 11 a.m., which may cause ratings to dip slightly for actually two reasons. First reason is the United States failed to qualify in the CONCACAF qualifying. Trinidad and Tobago spoiled that effort a few months ago. So the United States will not be in the World Cup. The Fox networks paid $400 million for the 2018 and the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. I would expect advertising revenue based on the trends and everything that I've been reading via the Los Angeles Times and so forth is a 20% loss. Now, there are 32 teams, and I actually need a team, which I'm trying to figure out who I want to support. But I'm very happy to say that the World Cup will be beginning June 14th. I do have the schedules and some streaming options for you other than FS1 or Fox, but I want to let the U.S. viewers know, give them a sense of when these games are going to be played. Rush hour on the Eastern time zone of the United States and early morning on the West Coast, somewhere in the middle, plus 2 hours in the Central time zone of the United States. So you might want to be rolling your DVRs. In this case, I believe the first match is going to be at 8 a.m. Pacific time on June the 14th. The host Russia ball club will be playing Saudi Arabia. And so prepare your schedules, get your vacation requests in for the World Cup. Wanted to also give you my impressions of Game 2, a 122-103 victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers, despite the fact that Cleveland had four other gentlemen other than LeBron James score in double figures. The Cleveland Cavaliers were overmatched tonight. Steph Curry with 33 points and 9 3-pointers. A playoff, finals record, 9 3-pointers, generally put to Cleveland away. Cleveland hung around anywhere between 7 and 10 points for about 3/4 of this game, but the fourth quarter was the story for the Golden State Warriors. I would expect the Golden State Warriors to win the game, win the finals series in about 4 or possibly 5 games. I amend that. I did say 6 earlier on the May 31st podcast. Any and all podcasts can be heard on Stitcher and Libsyn Radio, but wanted to give you the information tonight, just give you some impressions. We're going to discuss some more baseball this week. My next podcast after tonight, will probably be on Tuesday. We're going to discuss some teams that I think, with 1/3 of the games done, 54 games increments is what I have said that I will look at the MLBN, despite, as I said, posting every day regarding game recaps for the Dodgers, the Angels, the Padres, and the Mariners, and the MLB Fastcast audio and video giving you action around the league. This is going to be a short podcast just to ingratiate everyone to the fact that the World Cup stuff is up, the MLS podcasts are up, the MLB updates are up, and we're going to continue with the Stanley Cup. NHL hockey, essentially the Vegas Golden Knights trying to overcome Alex Ovechkin team. The Capitals have a 2-1 lead going into Game 4. That'll be 5 p.m. from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., as we hope that the Golden Knights will continue to ascend, but they've not played their best brand of hockey, may be due to some tiredness, which would be natural. I do believe that the Golden Knights will win the Stanley Cup, but once again, Alex Ovechkin, 14-year career, 607 goals to his credit, and his team playing very well. Braden Holtby making some fantastic saves along with Marc-Andre Fleury of the Vegas Golden Knights. That again, 5 p.m. on the NBC Networks, NBC Sports Network, I believe. Check your local listings, and whether you have access to the NBC Sports Network, those of you listening around the world and you love hockey, check your local stations where the NHL Stanley Cup might be broadcast. But wanted to give you that information regarding the World Cup tonight. Wanted to give you my impressions of Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Game 3, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time in the U.S. Check, once again, your local cable or satellite listings for the time in your area. The Women's College World Series, unfortunately, the UCLA Bruins lost in a double elimination 2-game series tonight to the Florida State Seminoles. Florida State will be facing the University of Washington Huskies, led by Heather Tarr. University of Washington has not been to the finals of the Women's College World Series out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, since 2009, when Daniel Lowry made the quite an impression for the Washington Huskies in winning the 2009 title. So you'll be hearing about that this week. The Stanley Cup will continue. The NBA Finals will continue. So there's a lot of things going on in the world of sports. If you need any more information, or you want to listen to any other podcasts, Libsyn and Stitcher Radio, you can also go to my site, accessmediaglobal.com, for more information. Stay tuned, folks. We have some World Cup programming that I'd like to present to you, some podcasts that'll be more on an international basis type situation. You can also go to the international page. All the major leagues of soccer, including the Premier League, FIFA, Series A soccer, La Liga is there. I did post some MLS podcasting from this week, May 30 and 31. That's also up on the front page of AccessMediaGlobal.com. You have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back probably on Tuesday, June 5, 2018. We'll be discussing more along the lines of some baseball, some teams that I think are up and coming. Once again, we're about 55 to 60 games into the season, and we have some surprises, and we have some folks that are definitely tanking at that point. For AccessMediaGlobal.com and the From the Bench podcast, I'm your host, Mark Janish, saying thank you for listening. Once again, you can get any and all podcasts available on Libsyn and Stitcher for download. Your Android, your tablet, your any connected devices will be able to receive the podcast, and you can also go to your phones and go to accessmediaglobal.com to view the site. Have a great day and a great evening wherever you might be listening. This is accessmediaglobal.com founder Mark Janish wishing you a very pleasant good evening. Once again, The Cleveland Cavaliers are down 0-2 to the Golden State Warriors by virtue of a 122-103 loss in Oakland, California tonight. Steph Curry led the way for the Golden State Warriors with 33 points. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care.